Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to eat, first meal. What would you go if you had 75 off?
75 off. So what exactly in the diet were you?
I was kind of like
chips and burger, bro. Anything chips and burger for me because that's what I love.
Just like a piece of bread, with butter on it, with like chips, and you mount it, a bit of body sauce.
You should go Normie's chicken sandwich you're doing from KFC.
Yeah, I was there when I was there when he had it. I don't think it was that great. Nah, he has weird sandwiches. That cunt. He has like have you heard about his apple sandwich? He has like apple, like bread, butter, sliced apples, and a bit of salt or something. Something scat.
Simi used to give it to him because he thinks he'll give you like this mad recipe and he'll just go, trust me, bro, a little bit of barbecue sauce. Like thinks he's killing it. Oh, something he fucking barbecue sauce on a fucking chicken burger or something.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the YKTR Sports Show. As always, brought to you in the BodyScience Content Studio. Get into your products here from Coles. So next time you're going for your shop, grab some of the good stuff. So, today we're talking about finals, a little bit of rugby union at the start as well. My boy QC getting it done. Been watching you kick A-scope, hasn't he?
Well, yeah. So when the skipper did the tutorials a couple of weeks ago.
The tutorials,
tutorials? Chewbacca? Yeah, when Quade was looking at the technique, the way the skipper was following his instructions, I think that just gave him added motivation last night. And 8 of the best?
8 from 8 off the tee. 23
8 of the best. I actually didn't watch the game. I'll be honest, I didn't watch the game. I was in bed by then.
Yeah, I was in bed too.
Because I'm getting up early for the NFL, which is on. So it's fucking a mad week of sports. A little bit too late for me, that 8 o'clock game. But
it is a nice little time of sports right now. Obviously, NFL starting, international rugby's on, and then we've got finals in NRL, so it's good times.
Yeah, gun.
Yeah, QC fucking one of the smoothest. Is this the only time I like the Wallabies when Quade's playing in?
I think he gives them a whole nother level of like
cool. He just makes them. He makes that Cadbury shitty sponsor at the front look cool.
Yeah, I was off that sponsor on the jersey, but yeah, he makes everything look cool. That cunt.
Is he pulling his shorts up a bit too high? I know we've been sort of
big ass on him now.
Yeah, he does.
He's got that little Richie Mwanga back there too.
He's been doing a lot of legs lately. You see the box jumps that he does, and he's like the training that he's been doing has been obviously next level, and he's seen the results of it.
Quad Cooper.
He's a weapon, man.
You mentioned it scope off here as well. Like he looks like just on and off the field, he's in the best place ever now. And like when he goes out there and puts on a clinic like that against the world champs 4 years out, kind of not that surprising given where he's at.
It's still surprising. Like South Africa are a good side, man, and they've just come off the British Lions, haven't they? And pumping them. Little Tate McDermott. South Africa have you watched the highlights?
No, I haven't. Yeah.
The Maws of Doom.
Yeah,
it was a tough watch. Like it was obviously exciting because of what Quade was doing, but like the overall game, I found myself on my phone a lot. Yeah, it was very much a forward dominated battle, and then Quade sort of controlled where it was played. And then when
South Africa are a very forward-based technical team, aren't they? So
they just play very old-fashioned in terms of rough uppy guts, rush D. Yeah. It's an ugly way to play, but so does Australia.
It's effective. Yeah,
it's very effective. Yeah.
One of the smoothest post-match speeches in the game ever, as well. You got to watch them Toke boys, man. We're smooth off the tongue.
Yeah, do it right. It's in the Ice Project.
I've said this before. We produce the best-looking sports people per capita. Sports people per capita.
Big fish, small pond.
I'll give you.
You bring the percentage down, though. You've got to take you out of it.
This is a good looking.
Joey Manu's good looking.
So we'll go Joey Manu, Zane Tedavano.
Oh, yep.
Quade Cooper.
Yeah, gun.
Sean Maitland. Can we micro clip this as well?
Maitland's
and then last top 5, Richard Kahui.
Kahui trumps all of you. Kahui could carry that by himself.
But that's our 5, bro.
That's a good 5. It's a good starting 5.
What's yours? Where's what area that
what are you 6 man of the year, are you?
I'm not even making the squad, I reckon. I'm not even making the squad.
St. Clair, Stephen Crichton, he's not too bad.
Yeah, Glamour.
Give me time. You've just gone rattle off fucking Tokes and put me on the spot here.
This wasn't in the show notes either.
I'll come back to you Wednesday.
We're Storkland.
Nah, that's too big. That's too big of a
St. Clair, Matty Moylan, we'll take him. The Scope, Matty Moylan, Stephen Crichton, that's a good start in 3. We're playing 3-on-3 basketball.
Richard Kahui, Quade.
We're playing 3-on-3. We're good.
Sean Maitland's a Glamour. Obviously, if I'm not making it, Joey Manu with the black eye, still a 9.
Yeah,
Zane Tedavano, poor man's Alex Clean.
Shout out to Zana.
Shout out to the ABs getting the job done. Bodie Barrett putting on a clinic as well for pumping the Argentines. Is that how you say it, Argentines?
Argentines, I think it is, yeah. The Pumas.
Yeah, the Pumas.
Yeah, it was another. I turned it off. I saw they were up 22-0 at the half, assumed they were going to go on and do a job. But to keep them to 0, Argie's a pretty flashy side, so it's pretty good from the boys.
Yeah, shout out to the boys. ABs doing their thing. So it's good to be watching some quality rugby, to be honest.
Friends of the show, Akira Enrico Ioane, another clinic. I believe, I don't want to tease too much, but I think they're jumping on Jordan's room this week.
Are they?
I believe. So there you go. Stay tuned for that.
Is that podcast still going?
It's going to be the lowest interview, but tune in and catch the boys because they've got a good yarn in the too.
Tune in and listen Jordan talk about themselves. All right, guys, back to NRL where we belong. Melbourne versus Manly. Let's go vintage Jackal.
Yeah, obviously game one. Big NRL finals week one. We'll start with you, Isaac. They were the favourites going in. A lot of us tipped Melbourne to do that, but Melbourne doing Melbourne shit.
Stayed in the obvious.
What did you make of the game and obviously the scoreline blowing out like it did?
Yeah, obviously I was always confident, and then Scope come in and told me what the 8th was thinking as well.
He was right.
Yeah.
8th was right.
When's he wrong, man?
Bro, did you see that stat that Rugby League Guru put up about the 40-12 rule?
No.
So you know how we always talk about narratives and stories here. So 2009, Jared Hayne, Melbourne stopped them. They rolled into the finals. First week of the finals, who did they play? Manly. Score 40-12. In 2012, when Benny Barber was on his little run there, the first game that they played was Manly. Score 40-12.
Bullshit.
Yeah. And then now they've rolled into this game. Tommy Turbo, hottest player in the game right now. First round, go up against Manly, 40-12.
I think you were saying going up against Manly then, but you meant go up against Melbourne. But yeah, same thing.
Yeah, that's how you
Melbourne going up against Manly, 40-12. That's fucking crazy, isn't it?
Can you get that up here? So is it Rugby League Guru put that up, did he?
Yeah, and he missed me. He goes, I know you love a narrative. Dude, he's stealing my lines. Rugby League Guru. Melbourne going to Melbourne. Melbourne are going to Melbourne. That's just what I'll put down here in my notes. Man, they're excited for this. Obviously, with Cheese coming off as well. I've written down here, Scope, you'll like this.
Yep.
They've got the longest spine in the comp. They've got a bit of torso on Melbourne.
Yeah.
And what I was sort of talking about with Jackson off air is their spine. They've got 6 players in their spine. They're all elite. Like you got 2 of the best hookers. You got your New Zealand hooker and your Australian hooker sharing roles. Jerome Hughes is nice. Fucking Munster, and then you got 2. Right. Munster goes okay. Had a bit of a decent one on the weekend, and then you got 2 world-class fullbacks. So they've literally got the longest spine, and all of them only need to string together a little 5-minute period. So in 5 minutes, Pappy can score 2 tries, and in a 10-minute period, Munster can sort of set up 2 or get yourselves back in the game. Jerome Hughes has got that about him. Cheese. They've all got a nice little couple minutes in them as well. Yeah. And the best thing about them, bro, they don't care who has the shine. Jerome Hughes can put on a clinic, and Munster will be the first one over there. They're not like a ball-dominant sort of team. Like a Parramatta or a Knights where it's revolved around Mitchell Moses or Mitchell Pearce. They want everyone. They just want the team to win. And the biggest indication I've seen about this is a couple of weeks ago when all the boys were on the carver and they were scoring tries. And Nelly from Welly and Justin Olin, when they're up there, they're like, I don't think most teams have that.
Yeah.
When you're out the team, you low key half
because you want to be out there.
You diff riding the boys or. Like boys have
because they win. Yeah, you're right. They win so much, and we talked about the head on the plate, and that was one of the points that I brought up. Melbourne able to do it to other teams because there's only 1 or 2 players, but like I said, Harry Grant, you got to pick your poison, bro. And if you try to take away Harry and Olam, it was a clinic. So I'll get into my points about. I wrote a few things down straight away. I feel like the way that they stopped Turbo, their defensive structure changed a little bit. First of all, their line speed was fucking unreal. Like they just strangled them. That's how they scored their first try. They put pressure on Cherry. Cherry throws over the top to Morgan Harper or tries to drop Harper because he feels a bit of pressure. And then
Harper was a little bit scared. Then he was a little bit intimidated.
The pool cleaner. But I feel like what they do to players, especially talking about what they did to Hainsey, and Finchie's talked about what they did to Hainsey. They almost like half the field. So they come out of their normal defensive structures. So if Tommy's on the left-hand side of the field, if they would normally go like a 5-5 split from the 50 or whatever, they go 6 on that side. And then you see the opposite edge. You see how many players around, like, even when Turbo made that break right at the end, and I think he passes to Gary, who ends up like running out or tries to flick it back in, there's just like 5 people around him, and like whenever Turbo gets the ball, they just surround him. So they come out of their normal defensive structures, and I actually don't know how to combat it because I was watching the game going, oh, fuck, what do they do here? Because the only thing I can think of is because they leave themselves 1 player short. It's got to be used. It's got to be fucking Turbo as a decoy, and you stack aside or from a wideish field position, but like.
I think we'll get to South, but I think South did that really well day before yesterday as well, where they were stacking that left-hand side with Cody in that, and then the young fella Taff was going right every time. It was nice. Yeah,
Souths did. You remember? You know how Penrith scored off the kickoff off the scrum 2 games, 2 tries in a row against Para the week before.
Yes.
Souths put from a 50%. Souths put 4 on the right side. and only 2 on the left. So Penrith looked over, they went to go run their normal play, it rattled them, and then obviously they come back to the right side with a 4-on-2, but they hadn't practiced it.
Yeah.
They didn't expect it. So that was a massive coaching clinic from Wayne against Ivan Cleary. But back just quickly on my last point, I know they won't do it and it's too late in the season. Fuck, we talked about it a couple of weeks ago. I feel like Manly needs some X factor, man. If we use Tommy as a decoy, got to try and get Moses Sully in their back. When I was watching the game, Brad Parker and Morgan Harper, I love them. They've fucking been unreal this year and they're so safe.
Bang for buck, eh?
But I don't think you can defend Melbourne to a competition. So for instance, you look at the grand final last year. This was the thing about last year. This is what Penrith did. They went conservative in the final. They put Tyrone May because he was the better defensive option against the Melbourne Storm. And put Naden on the bench because they thought, all right, we just got to defend up and then we can. Fuck that. Melbourne are still going to score their points anyway. I think you're maybe better off fighting fire with fire and just try a score fest.
It's like when GI was in his prime of Queensland, and we just kept trying to put defensive systems
up
against him.
And that.
Bang, bang.
I think on Origin as well, they did it this year. It took Queensland to game 3 to throw in guys like Tabuai, Fido, and when they decided instead of just trying to defend these blokes, we're not going to try and match them and score some fucking points.
So you look at Olam and you're looking at Harper and you're like, yeah, be able to do a job on him, but you need someone that can, like you said, fight fire with fire, and Moses Sully's probably that one guy.
Yeah. I think it's just because Turbo's had the biggest fire all year. They probably were hoping for a bit more out of him. But
you know what I was thinking, right? So just say if Melbourne's weakest side is their right side and they haven't been able to expose it, and they tried a couple of times and they didn't do a good job of it. But if you stack Turbo on the left edge and you leave Moses Sully, Olakwatu and Ches on the right from a wide position, I know Olam and Munster and that have been fucked. But that's what I mean. I was trying to think, I can't just go into this show going, clinic or whatever. What are some ways?
But the best thing about Melbourne and both their 3-mans can defend really well, and they both got good leg speed underneath them as well. So when they were trying to run their shape out of their own red zone, and Tommy was coming out the back, Jerome will just check him, and then because he's so quick, bro, he's the one that could cover. And then Remus Smith was just chill. They'll still square. They'll wait for the help to come, and they'll absorb.
They don't panic.
Yeah. Where other teams will just go fucking jam, just try and go in, but they'll just chill. But then once they got him on the legs, it was bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
They'd all come in, head in tight, trying to piss him off. I think they half hurt his knee a little bit. They were around the legs and trying to bend him back, and Melbourne a little bit dirty. They didn't mind doing that sort of stuff as well.
They're just aggressive, man.
You've got your head in tight, all that fucking.
They're all on the
shit.
Same page.
Yeah, they're all on the same. They know where to hit you from, your third man in. They'll rib shot you or get you around the legs, and it'll just frustrate him as well. And then obviously Tommy was not able to get the ball. Man, we just got to put it down to Melbourne. Manly are a little bit off. Melbourne were fucking on.
Melbourne clinic from Melbourne.
Before we jump across the next game scope, as a Manly fan, you're probably not hating the way
he'll
the
jump the ship
draws
too. He'll jump
played out. I know you've got to
he can jump ships.
Your bracket's still perfect, so shout out there.
Thank you. You should have just started with that actually.
But the fact that they're now potentially, assuming everything goes right, going to avoid both those big guns going into the G is probably not the worst thing for them.
Yeah, to avoid Penrith compared to playing the Rabbitohs, but we'll get to the Rabbitohs, man.
Yeah.
Wayne Bennett, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's going to be hard no matter what. And then, so they've got to go Trent Robinson and Wayne Bennett back to back now. So it's not easy, you know what I mean?
Before you potentially get Bellamy in the final. Yeah. So it's not easy.
That's a kind of a run.
Before we get there, Ice, obviously probably the game of the round was your Bondi boys up against the Goldie. Came down to the wire. What'd you make of the game? And obviously the big plays at the end are probably going to be what we talk about.
Man, Titans turned up. Obviously it's finals and you knew they were going to do that, but I thought the Roosters were honestly just going to roll through them as well. But it was just kind of one of those. It was actually really entertaining to watch. I really enjoyed it as well.
It was a good game.
Yeah, so man, Roosters, man, they just look tired. They look beat up. They look tired. They just got just enough class to get it done. And obviously Teddy's going to do his thing. Sammy Walker coming on. What do you call him? The finisher? The finisher? Is that what that?
Oh, Sammy Walker. Yeah. No, Trent Robinson called him the finisher.
It's the coolest nickname in the NRL right now.
Yeah. So obviously Titans had their chance to win, and then Corey Thompson blowing up. Love seeing that. Yeah. That's just someone that wanted to win, and boys made it harder than they needed to be. But I think this sets up Titans great for next year.
Yeah,
we were hot.
Some positive signs there.
We were hot on them. You were hot on them this year. I didn't think they'll make the 8, but they've made the 8. They know how to play finals football now. Almost could have got to round 2. Big Tina was a little bit off. That was probably the one.
Yeah, I think he had a couple of errors in him.
Still good, still effective.
Got a meaty as well.
Yeah, unlike him,
Yeah. I thought just before scope, like you say, then it sets them up well. I probably think they did overachieve this year. I think both those teams probably overachieved. Roosters considering the fucking retirements and injuries.
But table don't lie, bro.
If you're the Gold Coast, I think you take that year as a win. Like that's especially with the guys like Campbell and what they've got coming.
Campbell and Toby Sexton to get a full pre-season, see what they can do.
And scope Firma, Bo Firma, your boy.
Yeah, he's good, bro.
Weapon, man. Well, I always get him mixed up with Bullymore, but leg speed, he's unreal.
That was a nice little break, man. It would have been nice for him to finish off that meaty. And we'll get to that a little bit later on, but I just want to speak about Teddy. We mentioned it. He doesn't have those games where it's like 3 tries or that anymore and four line breaks, but he has a try. He has his 20 carries. He's fucking like he has to give at the moment with the way this team is constructed and the amount of the outs that they've had. He has to play unreal. And we mentioned him at the start, and I also mentioned Victor Radley, 49 tackles and 21 carries. And at one point, I thought he was knocked out, but he went for a try on what's your boy Lasoni? Big Sammy Lasoni rips his left shoulder off. I thought he you know what I thought he did actually? I thought he was KO'd. This is just like...
And just the fakies.
And then the fake shoulder injury, right? I think
Jacko missed 3.
Yeah, I think players this is what I've thought it a couple of times about players where they go down injured, realise they're knocked out and then just start doing the old arm, like pretending like it's arm. I thought he was knocked out. 2 minutes later, he fucking busts through him, offloads to Teddy, and then they score a try.
He's tough, bro. That's why I like him in my team, man.
Bro, he's a beast. He was the difference.
He was the difference.
Fucking oath he was. You called that too, yeah. Well, you said Raz,
yeah. So, but like I said, 49 tackles, 21 carries, 130 or 140 meters, and they're not kiddies meters either.
And they're not kiddies tackles.
And
this is gonna be a good game the next week as well. Manly Roosters.
Yeah.
Like
the 2 fullbacks. There's some pretty cool narratives coming into this next round. So
Victor Radley versus Jakey.
Yeah, and then
they'll be chopping each other like all game.
Exciting.
I was saying to Isaac Scope, it's probably hard now to say because we don't know what's going to happen with the Sam Verrills charge, but you'd assume if Verrills cops a week...
Freddie Lussick's there, can back him up.
Ice was saying Freddie Lussick. I would assume they throw Lockie Lamb into hooker and start Sam Walker.
No, I reckon they'll start Freddie. He'll absorb it and then they'll...
You know what? For a finals game, what if they go Radley? What if they go Radley?
You got to keep him at 13,
bring
bro.
Egan Butcher on.
Parra did a similar with the Ray Stone sort of move.
Nah,
he can stink.
You got to keep him at 13.
I want to talk about Ray Stone too. Fuck.
Yeah. Stoney.
As we get to it. But poor Paddy Herbert. Hands will do, Paddy. Hands will do.
He's seen the headlines coming up. So, fuck.
Look, I've said it
poor
before.
Dude.
I've said it before. I obviously feel sorry for him. Would have had a kind of a mad Monday.
Some death stairs on Mad Monday.
Yeah, it's the worst time to do it too, rolling into a Mad Monday. But fuck yeah, no, sometimes he does he does some fucking good things in games. Just hands will do. Like big bop up David Fafita.
He wasn't getting stopped.
And little Mutters Corey Thompson. Jeez, wasn't he filthy?
Mutters, you reckon?
Yeah, he's got a little Mutters in him.
Nah.
I've fucking grabbed onto it before in the Super League. He's got a Mutters. Or maybe that was his
Super League body.
Hull FC Corey Thompson.
Yeah, he was different. Jumping over Panthers Souths, Cleary versus Bennett. 1-0 to Big Wayno. Ice, what'd you make of that?
Bro, I thought Panthers were disappointing. I just thought they were going to rock up and roll through them.
This was the upset of the round easily, yeah?
Yeah, like Souths are nice and they got a good side and like they got a lot of good vets and they were up for the game. Jai Arrow and that was special. I just thought Panthers were way off where they needed to be and they kind of just were waiting on Nathan Cleary to bomb up.
Kick them out of it.
Yeah, kick them out of it and wait for a knock on and score some tries. So obviously when the Panthers are going well, they've got that sort of like mentality where they're all in it and all the Westies and all that sort of swagger about them. This is going to be like the real test. Like they're in knockout football right now. They're expected to win. They're expected to be in GFs. Man, this could be a really important period for them. Not only for this year, but for the. I don't think if they get it done this year, I don't think they'll win a comp over the next couple of years. I just honestly don't.
Hot take.
It just reminds me of like Raiders when they had their little period. And a lot of teams have a window and it's like 3-4 years. And now everyone's like rep players. So everyone expects to get paid a bit more. And now the boys are up in the Gold Coast.
It's hard managing that side of it. People always forget about that side of it.
The only counter argument to that would be I know that Penrith are one of those teams who have all the young guns locked up for at least
there's
2
a young
years.
core compared to they had nice established guy at the Raiders.
Some scars there though, you know what I mean? And
yeah, it does. Scars are legit.
So obviously a little bit disappointing, but shout out to Souths. I thought Reynolds was special. They've got a narrative now, and Wayne Bennett would be saying, "Oh, this is the Adam Reynolds, like his last run for like you know."
No one's giving you boys a chance.
Yeah, no one's giving you a chance. Adam Reynolds is junior, like this is his last chance for a title. Like you know what I mean? That's a really cool narrative to get around and get behind. And even though it's finals and you don't have to get up for these types of games, I think it just adds to it. When you're tired and you've got this little storyline that you're trying to achieve, man, I think it's really important. Wayne's last year, like you know what I mean, they've put all their eggs into a basket as they should, and I don't know, they're a dark horse even though they're in the major.
No, they're still a dark horse, I think, because they'll go in as outsiders into whoever gets through to them in the semi.
Well, fullback was nice.
They probably wouldn't be underdogs against Roosters, but they'd be underdogs against Manly if that's the way it happens.
You reckon?
I wrote down in the notes, fucking South out Penrith. Like kicking game returns, and then that Blake Taff, after he dropped the first one, he was doing the Dylan Edwards. As soon as he caught the ball, he wasn't going sideways, he wasn't looking for his winger, he was taking 20 of the best. I swear to God, it felt like they were starting on their 50, 60% of his kick returns. So I just wanted to give him a massive rap. I had my doubts about him and had my doubts about the size of their outside backs, whether they were going to bomb and take some off a little bit, pick those guys up and carry them back. And he was unreal. So he set the tone. Ren put him in perfect position with his kicking game and kicked him to death. Kicked him to death like Nath normally does to teams. And just like this, for me, almost proved a little bit Edwards his value in the team.
Yeah,
so Dylan Edwards is a late scratch. And I love Stephen Crichton eventually going to fullback. I think that'll be his best position long term. But it's hard when it's made last minute like that. So I think Dylan Edwards went down in captain's run, I believe.
What's he done? Does anyone know?
He's got a leg injury, so
I'll find out.
Yeah. So he went down in captain's run or whatever, and like I said, what Edwards normally does for South, Taff was doing it for South, and it set the sets up really well. They didn't panic. The most impressive part was at the end when they were up by 6 and they defended the lead for about 15 minutes, and then some of their forwards in particular, like Jaden Sewer. Oh, Jaden Sewer was fucking unreal. Defensively, Regan Campbell.
Fisher Harris.
No, Campbell for am I saying his name right?
Campbell
Graham for Regan Campbell. I was going to say Regan Campbell Gillard.
He was also great defensively.
He was good for Parramatta, and we'll get to him. But Campbell Graham was unreal defensively. In the way that they were able to defend that game, that was just a typical Wayne Bennett coached.
I felt little Mudders Reynolds was moving like a little bit quicker than normal. I think he was running in shape,
Every game he plays, obviously, like you mentioned, there's the narrative now. He's proving his value
worth,
and making us all question even further why the fuck they're letting him go. But obviously they've got their reasons. But every game he plays, he's the most important guy on the field for them. That's my take on it all. And particularly on Dylan Edwards, it was a minor foot injury, so he's going to be sweet to go.
Yeah, he'll be good to go this week.
What would that be?
I don't know.
It's all it says is minor foot injury, expected only miss a week.
Sprained ankle or what?
Yeah. Also, quick shout out. You'll like this scope.
Yep.
I thought as good as Reynolds and Taff were, I thought Nichols and Burgess were probably the best forwards on the park.
Sorry, and Jai Arrow.
Jai Arrow was unreal.
Like he fucking, that's who I was going to mention. Sewer and Jai Arrow physically.
Yeah.
Like we talked about the bench, like Kickout coming off the bench for Pangai, and then like one of the things I looked at South's bench and I was like, fuck, South's bench is all right. They can go all right. And Jai Arrow in particular, right? The Burgess boys, Nichols gets about his work, but Jai Arrow forced a couple of errors and got in their face and loved it. So I love seeing that side of it.
They're both quite niggly sides, eh? So it was a niggle off.
But Penrith looked a little bit, and this is where like I want them to get back to it. It's almost like the back end of the season they've tried to like go a little bit hums. Try to go like a little bit hums, go about their work. when they bring that energy and they get in people's face, that fucking pumps them up, it looks like.
Yeah.
Maybe they got to get back to that.
That's
Just
what I was sort of
talking shit to people, standing over top of them.
That's what I was talking about earlier. Like, they had that swagger about them, like, very early on when things were going well and they're pumping teams by 30.
Yeah.
Got to have that same energy. It's like Michael Jordan said, like, anyone can talk shit when you're up by 10.
Yeah, fucking no.
It really starts when there's 0-0.
Yeah.
So, and they've got that. They can do that, and it doesn't affect their football. And I think Jerome Luai, obviously, he's a humble dude.
Yeah, they spoke well
but
after the game.
he can talk shit as well. I think he needs to come out. Reggie Miller.
They spoke well after the game. Like, I seen him get around in the circle, and Isaiah Yeo was taking the huddle, and they all look fucking like focused and
big week.
It's going to be a mad game. Penrith versus Para, Manly versus Roosters. As much as you think a team's going to win, it's fucking finals footy, and if anything to go by the weekend, it's going to be very hard to pick.
Speaking of Para, Western Sydney Scope. Get the job done over Isaac's Newcastle Knights. Former Newcastle Knights. High quality, obviously, game. Defensively, I thought Para were fucking sensational. And so was your boy Penasini. Hot take Penasini. What'd you make of that one?
Yeah, unreal. Exactly how, the two teams have played exactly how the last 3 or 4 weeks have been. Para playing with a lot of confidence. They look well rested at the back end of the game and at the back end of the first half. And their main guys were playing with a lot of confidence. Mitchy Moses, Gutho was thereabouts. Even Fergie Ferg, Simi Corditt were going over for a double. He let a couple in as well, but he got his double. But they looked well rested. And like some of the guys that had been playing for them the last couple of weeks to sort of get a spot, Ray Stone, he's just like, he looks awful. Like I'd hate to be fucking running the ball around.
Fake Adam Docker in there.
Oh, when he's around the middle, like he just chops people down, and you don't really like I talked about with him. Is he going to take it away from too much with attack? They've probably got enough options with Dill Brown, Gutho. They might not need that sort of player, especially going against Penrith, because rather than having rather than having a creative guy coming out of dummy half, you just want a guy who's going to fucking rip into Fisher Harris, going to rip into Isaiah, all these sorts of players. So
and Will Smith has a bit about him when he comes on,
and then he can come on. And Knights, battle hardened, like never went away. They've been playing that sort of footy for the last fucking 8 weeks, and to their credit, they hung in there and they looked gone on a couple of occasions, but they hung in there. And it was an ugly decision. It's an ugly rule for the drop kick to get them. I think Para still would have hung on, but it just
so do I. Yeah.
It didn't. We didn't get that chance to see it.
I just thought Mitchy Moses was like, I think he'd be the best 5'8" if he had a really good half to sort of steer the ship. And I know sometimes he gets a little bit lost steering the ship around and get into a kicking game and stuff like that. But when he runs, like there's not too many 5'8s that run better than him. He's quick.
There's not many in the game. Not many halves that can score that try that he scored.
Bro, no way. And he caught the ball and just took off straight away. So he got a shot pretty early on from Sawasa Su, probably about 6 or 7 minutes in. Like he took the line on. Sometimes as a half, that's the best thing for you.
Munster said that before the Melbourne game. He goes, I just want to get in there, get tackled once or twice, and then I'm in the game.
Fucking oath. And like Mitchy was special there. So thought Campbell Gillard was good as well.
Yeah.
Like he was sort of, they've got enough leaders in the pack or enough quality players where they can sort of share that workload. It's not like they're relying on a Daniel Saifidi to do something where Junior Paulo can mix it up, RCG, and then obviously Nathan Brown as well. I thought they were a really good side and sort of shapes up for a really good game this week. Love the narrative as well, the Western Sydney sides. Obviously, if it was here, man, shit would be going crazy.
This would be fucking the best week of final, like the best final series if these games were played with like
Bank West.
It'd be out of Panthers, but there'd be fights after the game for sure. Especially if Panthers lose.
Para have opened at $4 scope. If Mitchy Moses is playing like that, they're a red hot chance.
They can fucking.
They just beat Melbourne 3 weeks ago, man.
Yeah, I feel like they're a chance. I honestly feel like they're a chance. It depends how well they bounce back. See what Ivan does with the boys and if Dylan Edwards is back as well. I don't know, man. Pretty big chance.
Yes.
Penasini, sick.
Penasini, unreal.
It reminds me of Jennings, eh? Like, he's not as quick as Jennings, but like same low to the ground, like sort of bouncy. Like when they step, they sort of stay square. Like
that flick pass and
silky,
defensively, like he did a good job on Bradman Best. When I was looking at the Knights game, and I love him, it was Kurt Mann who's playing over there on the right side. They'll be all right when Gates gets there next year. Like Kurt Mann's such a good player, he'll probably go slot straight into that 14 role, and you can't. I was looking at him, okay, they just need something on there for Kurt Mann. It's like taking Kurt Mann out of the game, but fuck, he just has a crack. Like
you see him Dylan Brown. Must be strong.
He had a few tough carries coming out of yardage.
Mate, he had had about 5 or 6. I think Junior Paulo got him. Junior Paulo could be in trouble.
I was about to say, when Ice was talking about how good Perez forwards were, I would be shocked if he doesn't miss a week.
Yeah, Junior Paulo and Verrills will both miss games based on contact from other players. So they could be massive outs, But I can't see Junior playing this game.
Panthers get through to that major semi with Melbourne. That's just another mad game, isn't it?
Yeah. From here on out, no matter how the draw falls, we hope it all goes Scope's way.
Yeah.
We'd love a perfect bracket, but...
That'd be unreal.
Yeah. But, they're all shaping up as pretty do-or-die games, isn't
What's her name? Gus Gould called it the hatred games to finish off. So, like, you've got Penrith and Para obviously hate each other. Roosters and Manly hate each other from the rivalry of obviously them being in the grand final. And then the next week it goes potentially Penrith or the Roosters against Melbourne. They obviously hate each other. And on the other side, it's going to be...
Souths and...
Manly.
Yeah,
Manly.
Souths and Manly.
That's kind of sweet.
Souths or Roosters.
Yeah.
And then and everyone hates Melbourne, he said. So if Melbourne goes through, then you can't fucking... It's
so
win-win.
It's win-win for,
It's good
for us fans.
Yeah. Although the Titans and Knights put up... They had a crack. The best teams have gone through to the top 6, which is good because we're going to see really competitive footy again this week. But Knights and Titans, it's just like we never really thought 7th and 8th were.
Are these Friday, Saturday games or Saturday, Sundays? Or
It'll be Friday, Saturday. It'll be Friday, Saturday. Yeah, they wouldn't do a Sunday because you try to give as much rest as you can to the following Friday, Saturday games.
All right, should be good.
There you go. The boys will reserve their picks for Wednesday's YKTR Sports Show. That'll do us, Ice.
All right, thanks for tuning in, guys. Like, comment, and subscribe.